I am here to welcome you and thank you for coming, and thank you for having this event at this forum. The day before yesterday, we had a very important event here. We invited over 300, we invited everybody, but some 300 persons representing various sectors and various interests in the country to review the income tax amended law draft. And today we issued a press release which has just gone, and that's why I'm a few minutes late, so I apologize. I also apologize because at my age, 80 years old, I have to go upstairs and down 4 floors to my office, which is very taxing at such an age. I had an alternative office which I'm not using because I need my office upstairs. Anyway, we prepared also a report to the government and to the Parliament on recommendations by consensus of the meeting. We had one of the most civilized and productive meetings. It was conducted in an atmosphere of positiveness and commitment to national interest. And I'm also sending a letter now to His Majesty to summarize, as I always do, just to put His Majesty's office in the picture of what happened. So I'm very happy to be with you now. I will have to leave early. I'm very, very sorry because there is a sudden meeting of the Senate, Majlis al-Ayan. I have to go to the Senate. I will be late anyway, but I will try to catch up. And there is demand that I should attend, and I will be honored and pleased to attend. So I will have to leave. But let me now go into the subject. We are very appreciative and grateful to parties that are leading this project on Madaba Archaeological RAM and the RAM project, namely the American, the Italian, and the Archaeological Department, the 3 major partners in this project. Did I miss anybody? The 3 major partners. I'm here only a convener and a host. This is something that we are not contributing to ourselves, but except by expressing the feeling of every Jordanian of gratitude for interest in this project, for our economic interests and for our image in the world. It is very important for our touristic purposes, which of course are part of the economic interest, and also for our history and showing that this country has not only archaeological values but also cultural importance. So I am very grateful to the leaders of this project, and I thank you for your interest in promoting it. I am here to express my appreciation and thanks, and I hope that after this meeting, like I always like to do, a press release can be issued, because I would like everybody to know, so we will be circulating it extensively through all media to create awareness of this project. And also I want you to know that we are now live on the air on Talal Abu-Ghazaleh FM radio for business and culture. So this is being broadcast live. And we believe that as a great philosopher said, small is a lot. Any addition which is of value, little is more, as it is said by another American philosopher. And yes, there are American philosophers, not just Italian. There are. Yesterday I quoted another American philosopher by the name of Franklin Roosevelt. Roosevelt was not just a president and a great president, but he was a great philosopher. And on the occasion of discussing the tax reform, I quoted him as he said, there are only two inevitable facts in life. Everything can be avoided or changed or whatever, but there are two facts that you cannot change. There are only two inevitable facts in life, death and taxation. and we should learn from this lesson in Jordan about how Americans treat taxation. This country needs the tax law, needs the revenue, but of course it has to be fair and properly studied to achieve the objectives. But it's inevitable to pay taxes. And so that an American philosopher said, little is more. So whatever we can do, no matter how small we think our contribution is, it is an added value. So I congratulate you on this event, and I very much thank the contributors and the leaders. U.S. is in two parts, including the USAID, with my great friend Jim Beinhardt, who is leading the USAID agency. I just met the new Chargé d'Affaires of the United States of America, and I hope that he will continue to, and I will be talking to him about this, to continue to support this project on behalf of the American government. Italy doesn't need any encouragement. Italy has always been a pioneer and a leader in this field in this country. So we are very grateful to Italy for many things in which we were partners, and we are partners, and we are very proud to be partners with Italy. As actually we are building an additional floor, and part of the floor on the 6th floor of this building will be assigned for the Italian archaeological team. We are providing office space for this team from Italy because we believe very strongly in its objectives and its importance. So we will be delighted to host you. We hope to have your offices ready by the end of this year, in a couple of months. So, and we will we'll look forward to having you with us. So thank you very much, all of you, and I welcome you again.
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you, Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh. Italy has enjoyed a continuous support from your side, and I wish to express once more our great appreciation for this, because it is not only a material support, a concrete support, but also a moral support, a moral interest in building bridges between cultures, people, and I'm sure that archaeology, historical heritage, of which Jordan is so rich and so powerful in all the Mediterranean and in the world, this way is paved with good intentions and concrete projects. And for this reason, today, on behalf of the Italian Embassy, I would like to welcome this project of the Madaba Museum. It's a very important project, and for us it represents a sort of flagship of this collaboration, both in archaeological research but also in urban regeneration, because it is a perfect example of how local communities can be involved and interested in such projects. And also I would like to welcome and to greet the fruitful collaboration between the American mission and the Italian mission, here represented by Professor Douglas Clark and Professor Andrea Polcar. This is a very good example, I think, of how forces, means, ideas can collaborate, can be united for a common scope. And also, this is an example of how our commitment in this country as an Italian, as the Italian diplomatic mission can stay on the side of our archaeological missions. And it's not by chance if we are here today, because when we had the opportunity to build up an Italian archaeological consortium, we found the enthusiastic and passionate support of Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh to have not only a place to meet, but also a continuous interest, a continuous part of our effort in Jordan. And finally, I would like to stress one more detail, that Italian commitment in Madaba has a very long history. Father Michele Piccirillo was the milestone, represents the milestone of not only the scientific research, but also the involvement of the community, the passion to get Jordan world-renowned for its heritage. And so, in this line we would like to continue, and this project of Madaba Museum can be a real flagship, as I said before, a milestone for future projects and also a point of reference, because as you will see during this event, it is a project very well crafted, very well conceived, both from the archaeological and also from the architectural point of view, social point of view, cultural and philosophical in a way point of view, as stressed by Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh before. I would like to thank once again all the participants, Department of Antiquities, ACOR, and all the members of this project, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, and I again reiterate my great pleasure in being your partner and working with you in any way that we can. I now call on Dr. Barbara Porter to the other major partner contributor to this project, representing the U.S. government and U.S. aid.
So good morning, everyone. It's a very great pleasure to be here to This is my first opportunity to be in this building, so I much appreciate having this chance. Here I am representing as the director of ACOR, the American Center of Oriental Research, which has been in Jordan now for 50 years. We were established in 1968. And many of the interconnections are represented by this room, particularly, of course, with the Department of Antiquities, with our distinguished colleagues who are beside me. And that whole world, of course, of what ACOR does in Jordan is really with the Department of Antiquities. But of course, any projects that we've had in the past, including the one that has supported parts of MRAMP, where we're here today to talk about, this Madaba Regional Archaeological Museum project, are actually funded by USAID. And so that is also, again, we're acknowledging their support for this project, but almost all the other ones that ACOR has done. Now, why am I here besides the current work? I also want to remind people that in the 1990s, ACOR was very involved in helping create with the Ministry of Tourism the Madaba Archaeological Park. And again, if you do something, you really should publish it. So there's this wonderful book called Madaba Cultural Heritage, which documents some of the work that was done. In this room, we have Dr. Robert Schick, who's actually publishing our excavations from the 90s. So that's taken a while. I honestly don't recommend waiting this long to publish an excavation, but never mind. At least we're doing it. So I want to say that, again, I want to acknowledge the people in the 1990s in Madaba who helped realize the archaeological park. There were many local people from Madaba who actually allowed for this park to be created by selling their lands, making it part of a unified place with amazing archaeological material, particularly, of course, from the Byzantine period, but as we'll be seeing from the MRAMP project, very important heritage buildings from the Ottoman and later periods, much of which is discussed in the book, The Madaba Cultural Heritage, which talks about vernacular architecture. So I'm not going to talk about what you're going to hear now. I'm just going to acknowledge that USAID SHEP, implemented by ACOR, has been involved in this project for the last few years, helping them support various aspects. I'll let the people here discuss this. And I think the last thing I'd like to comment on, of course, is right now for many of us this week is one where we're honoring the late Father Michele Picciarello. Last night at ACOR, there was a major lecture that was given by Father Rosario from the Studium Biblicum, who talked about his life. But Franco Ciorelli, who's been talking later today and later this morning, also reflected on the work that Father Picciarello did in Jordan and elsewhere. So in many ways, it's a continuum from a conversation started last night that will be discussed in some ways very specifically for one part of Madaba. But Madaba is a much bigger area than just the part that we'll be talking about. We want to acknowledge that with the Department of Antiquities and Ministry of Tourism, the whole area of Madaba will be reflected, inshallah, in this future museum. Thank you very much.
Well, now the word now is for the representative of the Antiquities Department at the Ministry of Tourism, led under the able Minister of Tourism, our great friend and great supporter of this project. Please do convey to her my warm regards to Lina Anna.
شكرا دكتور طلال. I مساء for our colleagues, and I think the cooperation between the Department of Antiquities and the Italian and the American missions started earlier from the beginning of the last century. Since 1932, when they start digging in Mountain, and they began to discover a part of our history as Jordanian, as a part of the Italian history, as Rome history. We began from more than 100 years or less. Even the Americans, when they start in the 60s from Hispanic excavations and Al-Ameri and the other sites, I think this meeting became the efforts of our preparing the last two mini conferences that we done it before 10 years in Madaba, and I've been as an archaeological director of Madaba region for 11 years, and we cooperation with the main two missions, the American do something for Madaba. Madaba is a rich part of archaeology in all Jordan, and it's a pioneer for the Byzantine time. And I think that we agree at that time with Mr. Douglas and the other colleagues from the Hispan missions, the Wadi Thaman missions, even the Canadian, they've been in this mini conference, that we need something to be as a comprehensive museum, not just an exhibition. Most of our governorate in Jordan, we have small exhibitions in small halls in all Jordan. But really we need what we call it like the center of studies of history and archaeology, which have the title of the museums with the new vision of museums, archaeological museums. Not just to preparing objects or artifacts without understanding the story of the Madaba cluster. And I think you remember Dr. Douglas, that we call it Madaba cluster, not Madaba region, or governorated border as Madaba, because the history did not just have the administration or administrative borders as governorate. So I think I want to thank Mr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, that he invited us in his foundation to this meeting to create something for Madaba as a center for study and archaeology in history and archaeology of Madaba. I hope at the end of this meeting we will have our decisions from all of our colleagues to have MOU letters with all the missions to be clear that how we can deal together and cooperate with the Italian and the Americans and the other colleagues that they mean an interest about Madaba to be correctly weighing how we can create this studies centers. Thank you for.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you will bear with me that we need to do a campaign for public awareness. It's very important to emphasize, and that's why I really would love to see a press release by the end of the day, which we can circulate to all media in Jordan and worldwide. That is very important. There is also wisdom in China, like in Italy and in America and other great cultures. A Chinese proverb says that it's not enough to be a good horse, others must know so. So if you are a good horse and nobody knows that you're a good horse, you are a wasted asset. So it's very important to let everybody know what you are and what you're doing. And therefore, we need to be good promoters and awareness creators for this project. And that can only happen through an active media campaign. And I would be very happy to work with that. We have, in our media department, we have 50 experts up here in this building who are 100% dedicated to media. We believe so much in this Chinese project. So our media department alone, let alone design, etc., etc. Just outreach. Our media outreach department is staffed by 50 experts. So we would very much be willing to help in any media campaign in cooperation with the leaders of this project. I thank you and beg your pardon to be excused to join. They just announced it last night that there is a Senate, this is the first Senate meeting after the vacation of 1 month. So I have to be there, and they're expecting me there. So please accept my apologies. Thank you.
Goodbye, Your Excellency. Thank you
Very much. شرفت الشرف لأنه فريق نكبر في السنة. My good friend, good to see you again. Yes, he is in the center.